Three different sessions today. In the morning session, we have kindergarten through fifth grade. And, it's 150 to 200 kids, and that's an all baseball skills session. In the afternoon, we have the middle school kids. That's a hitting camp. We'll have over 100 kids for that. And then in the afternoon, we have the college exposure camps, and that's for sophomores through seniors. So we'll have about 100 kids for that too. So it's a great turnout. It's our 11th year doing it here at the Ash Center, and it's not just about baseball, but it's also about mentoring. It's about making sure they get a strong message, a life message out, depending on if they're in kindergarten or they're senior in high school. It's a different message, of course, but ultimately we want to use baseball as a tool. We want them to have fun, learn a little bit, and get something out of it off the field too.
Is there any area particular that you're focused on teaching the kids?
No, I think it just depends on the age group. I mean, you're always talking basic fundamentals, but ultimately you don't want to try to give them too much. You want them to essentially learn at least a couple of different things that come through here that will help them build the foundation of being a good baseball player, but also build a foundation of being a good person, a good human being. And if you're in elementary school, you've got different challenges than you do in middle school, and if you're in high school, you have different challenges than you do when you're in middle school. So we take all that in consideration when we're talking to kids.
What do you continue to come back each year and put on this event?
Well, it's just it's a labor of love. I mean, there's so many people that get involved with these programs, whether it be the Party in the Park last night at Parkview Field, which raised a great deal of money for solid charities with the Wedge Foundation as well as the Florida Sports Corporation. Wedge Foundation benefiting SCAN this year, which is a local organization, or if it's today, all the scholarships that we give to the people that are fortunate enough to be able to come out to something like this. We enable them to do that. So everything we do, we give back to the community. This is where I was born and raised. We've got great leadership in this town. Fort Wayne's a strong Midwestern city because we've got strong Midwestern people here really getting involved.
The baseball season is about to start. Fort Wayne native Kevin
Kiermaier
is really the face of the city in MLB. What do you see him doing?
It's all right.
What do you see him doing in sophomore season?
Well, I think Kevin, he's off to a great start in his career, but there's always going to be additional challenges and trials along the way. But you know what? He plays the game the right way. He brings a lot of energy to the ballpark. He's still learning a great deal, but I think he can anticipate some challenges, but I think he'll just further to solidify his career, and we look forward to watching him.
Nowhere graduate Jared Parker.
Jared Parker, yeah.
Is rehabbing for his second Tommy John surgery. How would you handle his arm?
Well, you got to be careful. I mean, Jared Parker's off to a great start in his career too, but he just did have a second Tommy John. He's going to be rehabbing from it. It's a big difference, when you go through your second Tommy John versus your first one. So there's not a lot of history with that, but there's starting to be more. I think that the game's come far enough to where now they're able to handle it a little bit better. So he's young enough and strong enough to where I think he's going to be okay, but he's got to be patient and take his time coming back.
We're starting to see more and more names from the steroid era coming up on them getting in. How much of the difference is there from the guys who have admitted to taking steroids and the players who may have assumed have, or even without proof?
Well, it's a slippery slope with that there. I mean, when it comes to the Hall of Fame balloting or just the legacy of some of these players, I mean, ultimately it's a personal decision. Whether it be people that you vote people in the Hall of Fame or whether it just be the everyday fan. I mean, I think the game is as clean as it's ever been. I think that these young people take better care of themselves than they ever have. I mean, they take a lot of pride in their bodies, in nutrition, the way they carry themselves off the field. So I think the game's heading in the right direction.